guys, so moving along into this second part of the video, I'm going to get more in depth on the topic of the from the book No No Square, the inappropriate touching. So ironically I just had a conversation with my cousin like yesterday, and we were talking about like inappropriate touching or like incest in families and stuff like that, because she didn't know that stuff like that still happens. Like she thought it was something or something old, like something like medieval times, BC AD type. And I was like, no, that stuff is very much alive. Like a lot of people that I know that have like they feel abnormally high sex drives, or they have anger issues, or they're doing certain things. A vast majority of people that you would not even imagine have a reference to being touched inappropriately, or being touched at an inappropriate age, or being touched inappropriately by a person that's not supposed to be in an intimate space with you, like a family member or something like that. And I wanted to make a second part because, me as a mother, and this channel being versatile towards, hair, or towards what else I'm going to be bringing to it with professional services, like, like with daily living, credit, finance, and stuff like that, just different stuff. I'm still a mom, and it's still a platform for me to voice my personal opinion and my personal experiences in life, so that I can help people, because this is things that people don't really like to talk about, and it's something that should be talked about because it's happening next door. It's happening to your cousin. It's happening at your grandma's house. Like, it's happening around you so much, so often, even with your own people. Like, and just being able to respond to that and being able to know that it's something that needs to be paid attention to or addressed, that's why I'm making the video. So with the No No Square book, I did the review on it, and it was talking about children being able to say no, or knowing how to say no if someone's trying to do something to them and it's inappropriate, like a touch or anything like that. Now, in the book, it's showing where, a child is approached by someone, or, in the book, it's like a monster, but they're being approached by someone, and then they're trying to like ease their way into touching them or doing something to them and asking them, can they do it? And then the kid is like, no. And then they go tell their parent, and then their parent is like, pat on the back, good job, thank you for letting me know, that's not good. And when it comes to children, a lot of times these days, and that's just the book, but I know a lot of times these days, children they're not going to tell you when certain things happen because they don't know it's wrong, or because they're growing into themselves and they have little feelings down there and they like those feelings. So they're not going to tell you like this because something in their spirit tells them that it's wrong. Like, I know it's a feeling that a child gets because I've been through it. It's something that tells you that it's wrong, but you're not going to, you don't say anything about it. Like, you like it, but it's like something that's wrong. Or even if you don't like it, or even if they don't like it, then there's the flip side of it, that whoever is doing it to them, or whoever they're around, they like, don't tell or don't say nothing, or, something like that. So that's where you having a conversation, or people having conversations with people and trying to feel comfortable enough to express that this is something that happened, or this is something that can happen, can prevent a lot of stuff, because someone might allow their children to do something to go somewhere else. Somebody's child might be doing something to have a habit, and then when you allow your children to go around them, they end up picking up that habit, or they end up doing it to them. And now your kid is, in that situation, and then they end up doing it to somebody else's kid, and then it's just a cycle. Or you're allowing your kids to go to somebody's house, so you're allowing them to go somewhere, and those people might be doing something to their kids, and their kids is not saying nothing, that they can't tell their friends, and then your kids end up being in that. Like, this is something that creates stress, depression, and a whole gang of emotions in adults. When people have been violated, or when a certain pattern in childhood is being disrupted by inappropriate touching or intimacy that's premature, and not by someone that it should be from, like a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, like a family member, that's a breach of trust. Like, that turns something off in a person. So it creates a whole lot of emotions that turn into something completely different, like mostly anger, mostly depression and stuff like that. So the book is a good idea because, you know, reading something like that or making your child aware of something like that, it's going to protect them because you don't know what's going on. You can't watch your children all the time, and they need to know how to handle themselves. And being able to sit down and say, hey, you know, if this happens, you can tell me, you know, you're not going to get in trouble. Try to make them feel comfortable, you know, try to let them know that, you know, some things are bad or that is wrong, you know, and that they should let you know. Some kids do that, but to the people that do not, if this is not something that was easily brought to you to be able to discuss, or anything that you even thought to discuss, maybe it's something that you should now consider, because it is something that is still very much present. Like, people are doing all kind of people are still doing sex trafficking, and people are still doing all kind of stuff, and we're worried about a whole lot of things on a day-to-day basis. Everybody is busy, like everybody has a life, and that's completely understandable. But at the end of the day, you still have to pay attention to certain things, and don't think just because that's their cousin, they cousins, or that's me, how I am. I don't care if it's my mama. I don't care if it's my daddy. I don't care if it's my children's dad. I don't care if it's my grandma. I don't care if it's your grandma. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my kids and each other. Like, I pay attention to everything. Like, if they're sleeping together or something, I'm going to look and make sure you over here, you got your cover, ain't no because you don't know what's going on. And if you just sleep on it and then you let things go, then people get old and they start being on some weird stuff, and then you're like, where did that come from? Well, because Johnny been getting touched on since he was 6, or he been doing this since he was 6, so now he 25 and he doing something off the wall and you crying and you don't know why. That's because it was something that could have been, you know, kind of slowed down and nipped in the bud at an early age. And another thing that goes into that, even if it's too late and something like that happens, seek therapy. There is nothing wrong with therapy. Don't let anybody make you feel like there's anything wrong with therapy. For anybody that has went through anything and you're not comfortable with saying something to people, there is nothing wrong with that. Also, don't know what you believe in, don't know if you have a church or whatever, but pray. Prayer is a big thing, and try to communicate, try to write it down. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy, because if we're all walking around, the things that we feel inside, or the things that we're not healed from, or that are a part of us that shape our personalities and how we handle stuff, it creates a lot of chaos, or it can create a lot of chaos. And in order to prevent that, or in order to heal from things, sometimes you have to seek additional help or professional help, or, you know, talk to somebody in the organization that you know. Because if you want to live a better life, then you have to build the foundation, and you have to take care of your foundation. It's like a house. You can't build a house on sand and expect for it to stand and be, you know, at its best potential for a long period of time. That's not going to work. It's too much on top of it. Sand is not steady. Like, you know, you have to lay it out hard. You gotta do it right. That's why I was saying I make more than just a hair video, and I advocate more in personal life and stuff too, because it doesn't matter if you're trying to grow your hair. It doesn't matter if you're trying to grow a business. It doesn't matter if you're trying to build your credit. It doesn't matter if you're trying to be a doctor. Like, everything that you do in life ties into your foundation of how you handle yourself on a day-to-day basis, and how your mental health is, and what your thinking patterns are like. Like, everything lines up and it all starts there. You cannot be consistent. You can't learn. You can't do certain things if you're all over the place. Like, going back to credit, like, people advocate for credit. This is a whole nother video, completely off topic. I'm just touching for a second. You know, they talk about credit and stuff, but you also have to have good spending habits. You also have to make sure that you have something lined up to put back into that money that you're taking away, because at the end of the day, it has to be paid back. And yeah, you'll have access to all of this stuff, but if your habits of good spending habits or self-discipline is not there, then you'll be putting yourself further in the hole. Yeah, you got it fast, but now you're going to have to reverse and fix that. So back to what I was saying. Seek therapy. Do whatever it takes if it's already happened and it's too late, but do whatever it takes to stop that chain of things like that happening, and to healing, because that's going to help rebuild your foundation. Hurt people. People that's probably raping and doing all kind of other stuff, they have traumas and they have stuff that happened within their life and they didn't get help from that, which caused them to do things to other people. So I'm going to wrap it up. Know No Square is a really good book, and it's definitely something that I would recommend for any parent to read to a child, especially a young child. And I would encourage all parents and people to just pay attention. Like, don't be dismissive of people just because of a role that they play in your life, of uncle, cousin, brother, mama, daddy, whatever. People are still people. Spirits still travel in people, and it doesn't matter who it is, what color they are, where they at. It doesn't matter. People still have thoughts, and people are still people, and you can't control it, but you can be aware so that you can make prevention where it's necessary. I hope y'all learned something. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has any resources, you can drop them in the comments. If there's something that you would like to see, something else that you want to speak on, let me know. Any questions that you have, there's email, there's DMs, there's phone numbers. You have the links. Reach out. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much, and have a good day.